week one. How you feeling? You came out slinging. The only Big Ten quarterback to throw for 300 yards last week. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I feel good. I feel confident. I think we had a really good game plan that made it really easy on me, especially with the way our O-line played and with our playmakers. So, I feel really confident, but we got to keep this thing going.
Was the plan to come out throwing last week?
Yes, it was.
And then just talk about that quick start you guys had and what Branch looks like he's going to mean to this team this year. Ahmad Branch.
Yeah, he's obviously a big-time playmaker. I've known this since we've both been here as freshmen. He's always been a great player in practice, never really got the opportunity. So I'm really happy for him that he's got the opportunity now. We started fast because he made a big play. And if you have guys that can do that, it makes it easy to start fast.
The first time we've really talked to you since you came back here. Just tell me about camp and this quarterback competition. You've been going through quarterback competitions for 3 years here now. So
yeah.
To come out as the guy that gets to start in week one.
Yeah, it was definitely an honor to, come out and win the job. But, all the credit in the world to our whole room. We have a really talented room. I think all of us are very capable of, going out there and doing what I did. And I think we all made each other a lot better throughout the summer and throughout camp. So, I'm really grateful for all those guys.
What was the transition for you and Bennett? We're here through, the last couple of years. To come in with a new staff and kind of just get a fresh approach to Purdue football.
Yeah, it's been great. Me and Bennett are really close, so we've been able to, talk about how different it is and, how lucky we really are because, Purdue's an amazing place. We have this beautiful facility, and we feel like we've got coaches that we can really win with.
What are some main points of emphasis for you guys now that you all actually have some tangible game film to look at against Ball State?
Right. Yeah. Well, I think at the end of the day, the little things are what makes the biggest difference. So I think, I had a lot of plays where I could have been a lot better, and I think every position was probably a little bit like that. I'm not going to talk about them as much as just myself, but I think I had a lot of room to improve, and I think as an offense we could have been a lot better.
Can you talk a little bit about your portal experience, just kind of what you were looking for when you went out the first time and what you were looking for the second time you entered in the spring?
Yeah. Losing a coach and being on a team was kind of an interesting place to be in, and I wasn't sure what it would be like, just waiting and being the guy that a coach just got here and some guy was just there. So I went and explored my options, and that's when I ended up in North Carolina. I thought that was the best spot for me, and I've cherished my time there. Made a lot of lifelong friends. I learned a lot about the game, but I think I realized just being gone that Purdue's home, and I think I'm meant to be here.
What was it like just getting coached by Bill Belichick? You got any stories for us?
I don't think I can tell any of the stories, but he was great. He was a really personable guy, very smart. I learned a lot from him, and I'm really grateful for that experience.
Ryan, you seem to have a great rapport with your teammates. Can you just talk a little bit about how you built that rapport over time?
Yeah. I don't think it's anything more than just being myself. And I think our whole team, everybody's just themselves. And that's the most important thing, to build relationships with people is just be genuine, be a real person. And I think people see how hard I am on myself. And I think that just builds respect amongst everybody else.
In some ways, does it even feel like you were gone? Does that seem like a dream?
It does feel a little bit like a dream now, but I'm just happy I'm back.
Did you even unpack in Chapel Hill?
No, I didn't.
Tommy asked about Ahmad earlier. When you throw to a guy on the first series, he breaks a couple tackles and gets in the end zone. When you throw one up down the sideline and he makes a one-handed grab, how much does that kind of instill trust that you had before you left here, just knowing he's
right.
a playmaker the way he is?
Yeah. Well, I don't think I was surprised by anything that he did on Saturday. I've seen him do that for a long time. And I think he's definitely grown as a player, and he's, on a mission to prove that. But, he's great. He works hard, and I'm really proud of where he's at right now.
What was your best pass Saturday?
I'm not sure. I can really, after the game, I only think of the bad ones.
Did you watch the North Carolina TCU game?
I watched the first quarter, and then I had to get to bed for practice.
What do you think?
You know, I think they have a long season ahead of them just in terms of growing. But I think Coach Belichick's going to get them right. And I believe in all those guys over there. And I think they'll be all right.
This coaching staff's very process-oriented. Where do you feel like you and the offense have improved from the Ball State game to now?
Yeah. Well, I think the big thing is, like, you're never a finished product. So, like, no matter what, the process is going to continue. And I always, like, for myself, I always look at NFL quarterbacks. Like, a guy like Tom Brady, he was 45 before he was even retired, and he still said he wasn't good enough. And so I think a lot of the guys on our offense have that mentality. We've talked about Michael Jordan, similar mindset, where, like, you're never, like, no matter how good you are, you can always be better. And if you have that mindset, you're just going to keep getting better, and that's all that matters.
Do you think Ball State was daring you to throw the ball because they wanted to see you throw the ball to prove it?
No, I don't think so. On film, they were a heavy run-fit quarters team. And, that's what they did all last year with their defensive coordinators. They want to make people throw the ball, and they want to stop the run. So we kind of had an idea that that's what we were going to get. So it wasn't anything more than that, I don't think.
What do you think of playing an FCS school?
I think they're a really good team. They're an old team. They've got a lot of experience. Their head coach has been there for a long time. So I think we need to prepare like they're the best team in the Big Ten, because at the end of the day, any team can win.
The coach has talked a lot about your versatility as a runner. To get that rushing touchdown finally, what did that mean for you? Getting the end zone.
Yeah, it was exciting. I almost had one 2 years ago, got called back. So it was definitely a good feeling, but, whatever I can do to help the team win.
You talked about Armad a minute ago, just the receiving group as a whole. What kind of stuff did you guys do outside of practice to just build that chemistry, since you guys weren't on campus for
Yeah.
very long together?
Well, I think a big thing we did was, we threw routes all summer, like outside of, what we did after a workout or something, but we would come back later in the day and do stuff together. And talked about the playbook, got timing down. I had watched film with some guys over the summer. And I think even bigger than that is, like, after a play, if I throw a bad ball and I miss Mike on something, I go talk to him and I say, hey, I was thinking this, and he's like, I was thinking that, and we get a good idea of where we're at and why we miss each other and kind of get on the same page. And I think we've done a really good job of communicating.